Hello, everyone. Welcome to Limelight Episode 2. Today, my guest is Scouty.
Hello.
You go by Scoutyboy or just Scouty?
Scouty with close friends. Scoutyboy is pretty much just the full title.
Okay, so Scouty with friends. Tell me about. I'm just kidding. Scouty with I'm just kidding, but no, it's honestly wonderful to have you here, though. It's honestly fantastic. If you guys don't know who this is Scouty. Scouty's a Twitch streamer, a VTuber, and he plays a lot of fighting games.
Some say too many.
I could never get into fighting games. Those things just are rage inducing to me.
To be fair, I actually do rage a decent amount at fighting games as well, but it's kind of like I kind of take it as it comes with the territory, but
I would say for me, it's like I used to play Dead or Alive 5. I think it was 4 or 5, the one with the Echo Kasumi or whatever her name is, like the blue one.
I wonder why you've decided to play those fighting games.
Jiggle physics. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
They knew what they were doing too. You could tell with that studio, like they literally made those games like on purpose. I'm like, if they didn't know, why would we have Dead or Alive Extreme?
I'm pretty sure they knew.
I think it's funny though is that they did a map and like new outfits and stuff where you can literally dress them up in like swimsuits and fight on the island. And it just gives me headcanon that they go to the island and they lose a volleyball game and they just start beating the shit out of each other.
That is pretty funny to think about now.
I was thinking about that. I was like, that would be the funniest thing to just think about. Just playing Dead or Alive Extreme and like you lose a volleyball game and it's like two options. You can either go somewhere else or you could beat the shit out of one of the two other volleyball players.
It's just so drastic too. Like, good lord.
And then they literally have a thing where you can get like a volleyball partner, and like the most screwed up one is that you can have like Christy, and Helena. Christy is an assassin from the UK, and then Helena is, I think, like a French rich girl. I think she like owns the company or something. Like she owns like the Dead or Alive thing, and like Christy assassinated Helena's mom, and so you can make them be volleyball partners. It's like, bro, you killing my mom, but let's play volleyball together.
That is definitely fucked up.
It is. It's just like a headcanon thing where I'm like, I can't imagine that ever actually being happen. Like, I think if I would have like helped make the game, I'd be like, that'd be like the one thing I'd say. Like, you cannot make these two partners at all. But then again, they couldn't be on the same island either. Like, like Helena would probably try to kill Christy.
But yeah, most of the fighting games I play are mostly based around like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7. I have been trying my best to get into Blaze Blue a little bit and Grand Blue Fantasy.
I've heard of Blaze Blue, but I don't think I've ever seen gameplay. What's that like?
Like in comparison to FighterZ, Blaze Blue is like on a pace somewhat faster than FighterZ, I would say. Just like a little bit faster.
Question though, Mortal Kombat?
I have played one Mortal Kombat game actually. It was Mortal Kombat X.
Well, I bring it up because they just brought Spawn as a DLC like recently.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's like I don't know, Mortal Kombat for me just has been more of a, like, I guess like just a passerby. Like I know about the X-rays and especially the fatalities. Like Mortal Kombat X did it definitely for me when it came down to the gore factor and everything.
It's so funny though. Like I just didn't play a lot of Mortal Kombat because it's just, like I said, fighting games to me make me like really upset just because I'm like, ha, you suck at this game. Like, yeah, I do suck at this game, and it makes me sad because I want to get good, but I don't want to learn combos.
That's part of what, a fighting game is, that you actually have to learn the combos, bro.
I don't like that. I just want to play.
I would say this though, like as a person who's like, played against a lot of different people, I would say that one of the things I definitely would like, if anybody would want to play in a fighting game, don't be an asshole. There's enough of them already.
Oh god, there are so. I'm always reading articles about like pro fighters like getting into trouble, like whether they're saying something they shouldn't or they're doing something they shouldn't. It's like really bad in the Smash series though. Have you read like the Smash stuff? Like all the players have gotten in trouble for doing stuff.
I have, and it's kind of like just I don't know what it is. It's like, yes, fighting games are like not exactly the pinnacle of like, gaming and everything like that, but they do take a decent chunk of skill and know-how, especially with how the game works and everything like that. But that doesn't mean you're better than anybody, like, just because of that.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know what it is with some people, but they seem to have a very big ego when it comes to fighting games, and I will say this now. I kind of have that. It's been on display on my stream a little bit at times. I'm more just trying to be playful rather than cocky. Like, when I literally shotgun somebody with hits level 7, that's for just me being playful. It's not me to be disrespectful.
And that's the cool thing though, like when I get to watch your streams, you actually have this like energy, and like you can even hear it in this podcast. You have this amazing energy, and I love it because like I'm such a, as you can tell, I'm a very chill, relaxing person. But then I get to go to your streams, and you're like like screaming and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that. I'm jealous.
It's a blessing and a curse, I would say, because
Mhm.
like not a lot of people like the intense energy, honestly.
Well, you
Like,
balance it though, like 'cause there are people that are loud and energetic, but they don't do it right. Well, they'll scream at every single little piece of items, but then you'll scream or get mad at the right times, and it's not constant. So you actually know how to balance it, unlike a lot of people who do that.
yeah,
So,
but like I guess that's just like the intensity sometimes for some people is like a turnoff for per se, like, because like when it comes to me, I play, and I play with my heart and soul. Like,
mhm.
that's how I do it. And most of the time, whenever I'm doing something, I try my if I'm not don't have an ability to put my heart and soul into it, then I won't do it, pretty much.
Oh, I see.
It's kind of like, for example, when it came to my grade, we're gonna go back a little bit, high school wise. When it came to my grades, right?
Mhm.
You would see that I would not be good in math, and um it was like social studies, I think, like social studies, like literally just how certain events in history kind of like worked and function in terms of like, how just the way that social norms change and all that.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't interested in those topics, pretty much. Like, yes, math can be the key to the world and everything like that, but what if I don't want the world?
Why do I care if Johnny has 7 apples and I take 2? How's that gonna help me in my life?
Like, why like why can't we just share the apples down the middle? Why do we have to be so convoluted with like just how to share apples?
No. See, they need to do is like do smarter math. So it's like, you know, Johnny has 7 apples. You take 2. How many has left? You say 0, and that's because you took the 2 apples and whacked them at Johnny, and then you took the rest of them. See,
I
like,
guess that could be a way.
I mean, think about it, man. Instead of taking 2, you get like a whole like step 5 more. That's
But
smarter.
yeah, but those were the topics I weren't very interested in. And then there is science and I would say music as well. I took a honor class somewhat of for music, and then like those are the two subjects that I was just so interested in. Like, when it came down to math and everything like that, it's just a bunch of numbers that I really couldn't understand.
Hmm.
But when it came to the science and having to, put math into that, I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
I'll be the most mathematician in the room at that time.
I was like the thing with me, like for school wise, I literally had no interest in school, and that wasn't because it's like, oh, I'm such a baddie. I don't focus in school. It's like, nah, I had like ADHD, so I'm like, oh, all of this shit is so hard for me. Like I can't comprehend like most things that's going on in there. So With me though, I was always pretty decent though at like English and stuff like that because I liked reading. I think reading is really nice. So like whenever there's like, oh, you just read this book and then do this paper and you're good, and I'm like, okay. And then it's like the only thing I had problem with was like memory. Reading was just fine, but like memory, it was tough. And the funny thing is though, like I have dyslexia, so if I'm like reading aloud, everything goes really fast for me. So like if you like read this part out loud, I'll be like, so then the race car driver went really, really fast into the wall and then he almost died and then he has a bucket. Oh my god. I'm sorry guys. But like if I'm like reading to myself, I can like keep along and memorize it just fine. It's very strange.
And I would imagine with like having to deal with dyslexia, especially makes it hard. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just
It's because like that, no joke, that actually happened the other day. We were playing Monster Prom, and exactly the same thing happened. If I had to like read something out, like I could just start speeding through the lines, and I'm like, I'm not trying to speed read, I promise. It's just everything is like all the like the letters are just starting to like jumble together, like when they get really close, and it's makes me read it faster.
yeah, I get you. I get you.
So, but yeah, no, school is like just really not my thing. It's something I wish I was better at though. Like, because then it's just you can do so much good stuff. Like if you were like an A or a B student, and I was like B and C, like struggled to pass.
I wouldn't say all that now.
Wait, why were you a A B student?
I was,
Wow, interesting.
and the one interesting thing part about that is like you can get quite a bit of like medals and like honor rolls and all that type of stuff, but
Hmm.
the very harsh reality of that is that those medals do not really matter.
It's like, I have an advantage over all these McDonald's employees. Why? I have this medal from high school.
Like, I think the best way to kind of explain it is that um when it comes down to certain, or like how they look at it is like, oh, you got a medal for something you were supposed to do.
Hmm.
Like you didn't get a medal because like you actually went above and beyond. It's just something you were supposed to do. I think that's how they go about sometimes looking at those medals and everything. It's just like you were supposed to do this thing and somehow you managed to get a medal. Oh, okay, but how does that contribute to us?
That is true. And it's like, I don't mean that in a bad way. If somebody out there is getting C's and D's and barely passing, like, just do your best. Like, honestly, because honestly, as soon as I graduated, I was probably the most happy. Like, I honestly got more knowledge working at like an actual job than I did my last 2 years of high school. Like, it's sad to say it like that, but I did. Like, I worked retail for like 8 years, and I literally learned more life experience, like how to do certain things at a job, than I did going to school.
That's not really that bad of a thing to say, like
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, excuse that whole entire like derailing, by the way.
I know. I was like, well, it's okay though, because honestly, that's a really good subject to bring up. Because I've never really talked too much about like school in my life. Because it's like some people it was the best time of their life, for some people it's the worst. And I'm like, I'm one of the worst times of people. It's like it was full of bullies and stuff. I didn't end up keeping a majority of it, like, at least my last couple of years. But it's like it was there. Everybody has to go through it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I will say
But
like, go ahead.
yeah, that like just I bring that up simply because of this. Like that was what it came down to. Like every single time that I want to put my heart and soul into something, it's like
Hmm.
I do it. There's not really much to it. Like
Hmm.
when it came to me streaming and everything like that, I enjoyed the hell out of it the first time around. I was nervous, yeah, sure, but I just kept going with it and I kept trying to improve because I'm like, how can I make somebody's day better just by being on the other side of a screen? That's
Hmm.
kind of what the mentality later became.
Is that how you joined into streaming? Like how you got into it? Like started?
Yeah, that was originally what the whole entire premise was. Just making people's day a whole lot better than it was before they actually, came in.
And I honestly, with me, I just started streaming because I was like, I need something to do. So I would literally just play a video game and not talk or do much. And then like once in a while or I just have like, this is back before DMCA was big. I would just play like whatever songs I had on YouTube and just let those flow and just be playing a game. And then it was like in 2020 where I was like, oh hey, I have a bunny idea, and then I got slime. So, and then I found out once I started talking, I had this calm voice, and I was like, I can relax people, make people fall asleep. That's stuff I never get to do. But if I can make other people relax and sleep, that'd make me really happy.
You
So,
want to know the awkward part sometimes of like that, or at least, but because like there are some people who legitimately have slept through my streams, and
but
I question how.
I mean, I don't know. I think some people just have their favorite like streamer and they put it on, and like that's what keeps them like chilled out and stuff. Like imagine having like so for example XQC, his stuff's loud and obnoxious the majority of the time, but his streams go on for like 12 hours. So you could literally start his stream, pass out, have a full night's sleep and wake up and he'd still be streaming.
I sometimes don't get it because it's kind of like I'm a screaming banshee of a person literally in your ear, hopefully at a very safe volume,
Yeah.
and you're somehow managing to find a calm, relaxing time and just like, sleep.
Mm, that's how I was
Like
thinking.
like I don't understand how, but I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I mean, that's even like for me, like I've had people who like were just trying to be mean and they would just type ZZZ in chat, like, oh, they put so tired, I'm gonna fall asleep, and I'm like, good, it's why I'm here. I've relaxed you enough that you want to go to sleep. Like that's a huge compliment. Like I never will ever find that offensive if someone's like, oh, I sleep through your streams, dude. Your streams make me tired. I'm like, good. It means you're relaxed. It means I'm doing my job perfectly.
Y- so, there's a very distinct thing I have towards that, by the way.
Go ahead.
Or at least this is how like my thought process sometimes goes with and I've said it before many a times.
Hmm.
If you have if you're streaming and everything like that and you kind of like you go up against somebody that's like they're upset with you or angry with you, because I've had times where like I was streaming and everything like that, like I'll be playing I'm wholeheartedly admitting this, Fortnite or something.
Loser. I'm just kidding. I play it too.
Well, love you too, buddy. There would be somebody that's upset and like they would legitimately just come into the stream angry and upset and everything and furious, and I'm just thinking to myself like, or like while they're getting their whole entire anger out, I just think to like this person is probably just wanting to either A, get a reaction out of you, or B, you just pretty much invaded in their like own personal time that they just feel like they're untouchable.
Hmm.
Or C, they're not having the day that they expected, so now they're trying to put it on you.
I've had I feel that I actually had an incident once where because I have TTV in my name for my Epic games, and I need to like switch it to YouTube at some point. But I would have people, I would kill them or get the dub, whatever, and they come into the stream when I wasn't streaming, and they would be like, "Hey, you're not streaming. How about you stream, pussy boy? Come on, stream. Let's do your real skills 1v1 me." I'm like, I'm not your toy. Like,
It's like I always try to be like it's kind of weird because like you'll hear me like belittle somebody, everything like that. They act like an ass, but if there is just a time that I feel bad at some
mhm,
point, it's kind of like, you know what, this is probably this is probably a thing that they'll actually be like happy about for quite some time. I'm not gonna rain on their parade.
mhm. I mean, I get second and third place a lot on Fortnite, so it's like I just wonder how many people like that like get first place and win and see they killed me. If they'd be like, "Oh my god, my win is on TTV. Let me go look." It's like, nope, I'm probably not live. That's why I need to switch everything to like YouTube, because at least it's like everything would be offline. It's like, yeah, I'm probably not live on YouTube. It's just videos if I do record.
Yeah, I guess it's just like a weird sense of like sympathy that I guess I have for people. I don't know what it is in my particular brain that makes it. but sometimes I have sympathy for the people that I kind of encounter at times.
Well, because some
Like,
people that's their whole life is like that one game, or just to get like Fortnite, they just want to get first place, or Rocket League, they want to be top ranked champ, or whatever game, insert game here, they want to be the best, or they've had a bad day at work, they come home, they want to be good at a game and get compliments. You know what I mean? It's just kind of their medicine.
yeah, so I'm not that much like I may say shit and talk crap, but in reality, it's all just for the good of the game and everything like that. I don't mean no malice towards what I
Mhm.
say.
I mean, I'm the same way. I don't mean any harm or anything to people, because I've had those days where I've had really long, brutal days at work. I come home, and then I get shit on by somebody who's been playing the game for 10 hours and be like, "You're trash." I'm like, "But I've been at work for like 8 hours." So, and that's
Yeah.
just it's just that's just how people are. Like I said, there's some people that are pretty humble. They'll be like, "Okay, I didn't win, next time," or, "Oh, I'm just here to play." And then you have some people that are trying to be like top ranked champ, trying to get number one, get sponsored by FaZe Clan, and drink G Fuel by the tub. You know.
I, I I find myself to say that I wouldn't exactly call myself humble, I would think.
Why do you say that?
Because if I were to say it, then that humbleness would go away.
Oh, I see. So it's like it's just kind of, I'm Scouty and Scouty is Scouty, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that. I'm pretty much the same way. I like to do my thing and just play the games. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, you go to the next game. I mean, I've had some games that are just absolutely atrocious because the people are just rude, and it's just like, oh, okay.
hmm
I mean, you can mute them and stuff like that, but then it's just like, you still know they're just gonna be talking something bad about you, so it's like, I'll keep it on. I want to hear them.
Okay, I feel like this has been a bit one-sided. So, do you have like any type of question that you would want to ask me?
Oh no, it's just this is a talking podcast, so it's not so much to
I
get out interviews and stuff. I can ask a question, you can ask me a question, or we could just kind of have a topic about whatever you like.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's just there's got to be something in that little bunny brain of yours. You got something.
You know what? Since you brought up the bunny brain, what's in the badger brain? Why were you a badger, or why are you a badger?
It wasn't by a very distinct choice, to be fair,
Oh,
at least lore wise.
let's hear. I want to hear this.
Um, it's basically kind of like it's more of a test subject type of thing.
Hmm.
Like, you know how like Wolverine and Deadpool were kind of created in a way, a sense, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Like, think of basically like, a black market project
Uh-huh.
of just wanting to make the ultimate weapon.
Oh,
and
nice.
and somebody thought honey badger because they're unbelievably durable. They have like no sense of fear whatsoever,
Hmm.
and they have all these things that pretty much like they just whenever they're in an environment that is not known to them, they can just basically live there regardless.
Nice. So it's just kind of like, so it's just kind of like, oh, honey badger experiment kind of thing.
Like bringing an apex predator and trying to put that type of like those types of genes and adaptability into a person.
Oh, nice. I like that.
But it didn't quite work because said person decided to leave.
Stream on Twitch.
On my off time,
Oh, I love it. That's actually really cool, though. In all seriousness,
I
it's
appreciate it.
it's so funny though. I always get asked about my lore. They're like, Lime Screen, is he toxic? Is like, am I a mutant? This and that. And I'm like, so when two bunnies love each other very much, they make another bunny, and then that bunny grows up and does whatever he wants, and that's the lore of Lime. It's just funny.
That's literally all I think about whenever I hear lime. It's just kind of like small
Mhm.
bunny.
I do, and that's all it is. There's like no real lore to it. I'm like, it's just Lime being Lime. It's literally just me, but with a bunny avatar.
Like, for God's sake, we literally have like we have like there's like a very large variety of VTubers, I will say. Like, it's unbelievable, like, just how many. There's only somebody that's a mug.
I know there's somebody that's a truck. He has like a truck with like arms and stuff, and it's very strange. And then what was another one? Like I've seen some very weird ones, but weird in a good way. Like was it there's one guy called Captain Cube, and he's literally a cardboard box, if I remember correctly.
There's one of like literally just the thighs.
Oh yeah, I've seen the
just
thighs one. There's a thighs.
just just thighs.
I like the one guy, I don't know his name. He like uses the female avatar, but he has like a really deep, raspy voice and talks about waifus and stuff. I don't know his name, but he's really funny. I was like, God, I should have done something like that.
I will admit, as much as like, people give nonsense and shit to the VTuber community as a whole,
Hmm.
there are a lot of different communities that have like dirt in them. Like, come on, Halo, Call of Duty, Smash Bros, even like Genshin Impact has some dirt in there all the time, regardless. Like, no matter which community you look at, there is going to be some dirt, or even some slander here and there.
Hmm.
But as you take out the certain individuals and everything like that, you're kind of like, they come from this community. It's very odd to think about,
And
because
mhm.
I try my best to keep to myself and not really say anything bad about or ill will towards anybody.
Yeah, and I fully get that. I've actually had that happen a lot too, because I get mixed a lot with the because I'm in the VTube community, and then I also do, I think I am like a lot into like the furry communities of VTubing as well. And I gotta admit, there are some of the most supportive people I think I've ever met, and I'm like, I like that though. It kind of puts that damper on it, because like furries get like the worst rap I think on earth, like community wise. And I'm like, you get your good, you get your bad. I mean, like, there's some bad VTubers I've met out there, like the ones that are just like stuck up the nose, and I'm better than you,
Elitists.
everyone. Yeah, it's really sad. Like, I have like watched some of them where they'll literally get like a high donation and then brush it off and then just keep streaming, or they'll like put like just chatting on, and then they barely talk or barely do anything.
Oh my!
Like do
Don't get me
something.
don't get me started. There was one time that I literally cried on stream already.
Like cry or
You can't see because of me not having a camera, but I legitimately cried.
what would you cry to?
It was like I was in a little bit of a rut because, like, my internet bill was not paid.
Oh.
Because I still have a, like, no job particularly. Like, I
Mhm.
don't have a very stable amount of income, right?
Mhm.
And so I get into some ruts sometimes, and there's sometimes I, like, and have been searching and everything like that, but like, just, it's difficult.
Okay.
And then my friend Neku, who I've come to learn about this person and everything like that, and out of everyone that I've met in the VTuber community, she has her very golden moments.
Mhm.
And I kind of like explained it to her live on stream. I'm just kind of like, that's how the situation is. She slapped down 100, and I just
I had I feel that. I had a moment, because you did that the same to me. You passed for the kindness, because I was in a rut because of my home. I had a bad home situation last year, and you and like the whole Greasy Gamer community and VTuber community, like everybody just came together and like helped me save everything. And I was like, oh my God. I just started like crying. Like as soon as the stream ended, I was like bawling my eyes. Everybody loves me. Why? What am I doing right?
I That's
Yeah.
the one thing, especially I think like when it came to my teacher, especially with like because she was like she was particularly with entrepreneurial and everything like that, and like I did not have a. I will be very. I'll be honest here. The support for like in particular with my streaming and everything like that,
Hmm.
it's been fickle. Like when it came to me, like coming to my parents and everything like that about it, they kind of just normally brush it to the side and don't really care,
Hmm.
which is the more difficult part sometimes.
And it is. It can be very humble, like when really good stuff happens, and like even for me, I'm like, I've had times where I've had to take really long breaks, like up to a month. Like even recently, I just did a month break, and I come back and everybody's still here, and I'm like, I can't believe people haven't left or said, "Up, dead channel, bye," or started unfollowing. It's like I come back and everybody's just like, "Yay, he's back! Welcome back!" And I'm like, this feels so good. This feels really, really, really good. I'm just, it's nice that the hard work's finally, coming into play. You know what I mean?
Like like when I actually came into with my teacher and everything like that versus like my parents,
Uh huh.
my teacher was very supportive. It's like she saw the seed that was growing and everything like that, and even she was like, "Don't stop this. I don't care what anybody else says. You seem to love this, and it's actually keeping you like happy."
Oh yeah,
So, so with those words in mind, constantly, I protect this dream as much as I can.
that happened to me. I told my mom about all of it. Parents are always 50-50 on it. Some people are like, it's not a real thing. You don't need to be doing this, or oh, you need to actually focus on something. Da da da. Literally, my mom was like, she's like, hey, what is TwitchCon? And I was like, oh, it's a festival for Twitch streamers and stuff like that. She goes, if I offer to pay for it, do you want to go this year? And I was like, yes.
You told me about this before, and that was like that was so heartwarming.
It did. It really just about made me cry. I was like, Mom, really? She's like, you have made so many people happy. She's like, I've been to your streams. I have watched your videos. I watch your TikTok. Like, she goes, you don't know how good you're doing. She goes, I've listened to radio for years and this and that. She's like, you sound like a little radio host. And it's like you have your own little radio stuff. And I was like, love you. You're so sweet.
I'm happy for your Lime.
Hmm. I don't actually know though if I'll get to go yet or not, but because I'm just like, oh, I don't know how like this year's gonna be for like the COVID safety stuff. Like I don't know if it's gonna be like certain capacity. I don't know if it'll be like sanctioned off in some places. So I'm like, I want to wait and see. But if it does happen this year, I mean, kind of eyeing it. It'd be nice to go to a convention again. I haven't been in any.
Uh, all I ask is for you, to be safe and everything like that.
I will. I mean, I have to cover up
Drink,
my face because of how famous I am.
drink water and wear protection.
Drink water, wear protection in both scenarios. All the scenarios. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be in California this year. I'm gonna try to. I liked going to California a few times. I went to Los Angeles twice, and it was pretty cool. I went to the Overwatch League. That's like the only reason why I went out there was just to go watch the Overwatch people.
I've actually never heard a lot from Overwatch as a recent. Like, I know that Blizzard Entertainment and everything like that is like currently like still under the fire of like all the other stuff that has happened.
Hmm.
Because funny story enough, I actually like was on the tail end of one of their little incidences.
What happened?
So this actually happened when I was streaming and everything like that, right? I was
Mhm.
playing the campaign for Vanguard and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
First off, it's a good campaign. They tried a little bit too hard to make all the individual characters heroes of every nation and everything like that. Like, come on now. There's trying to make a hero, and then there's trying too hard to make them seem like a hero. But
Mm.
whatever about that. It's still we're time. But I was streaming it and everything like that. I was just, everything was going fine and everything like that. But all of a sudden, everything just stopped. My computer was stopped. The game itself stopped. Stream was stopped and everything like that. I'm just like, what in the hell happened? So much to the point where I actually had to, go to my router and reset it.
Mm-hmm.
And to come to find out later that Blizzard Entertainment was directly getting DOS attacked.
Oh my god, I remember the DOS attacks.
I was not even remotely involved with Blizzard in any way, shape, or form, but just from me trying to stream the goddamn game itself, because for whatever reason, the singular player campaign is online.
Everything's online now. Like, I can't even make a phone call without being on Wi-Fi anymore. It's so weird. It's like everything has to have online. Like, all the new games have to have online, or
I'm not sure if you noticed this, but some people actually like single player campaigns that are not connected to the internet, so that way they can play even though the internet's off.
That's the golden years of old games, because everything was prepped for offline. Because a lot of people would just buy a console, and then if it had online, then it's like, oh, cool. Then yeah, you could play online. But most games were built to be played offline back in the day, and now majority of stuff is all internet based. Or you have to have internet if you really want to play through most of it. So that's why a lot of people will like MMOs and stuff like that, because you won't really need online too much. Once you download the game, then you're good to go. You only have online to update, or maybe to multiplayer or something.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm an FPS man, so everything is battled against other people.
Oh my gosh, okay. Because you mentioned FPS, I'm just kind of thinking oh god, now I'm thinking of Tarkov right now. For anyone who's wondering what I think of Tarkov as a whole, I love the game, but don't get it.
Is Tarkov that one about dinosaurs? Or no, that's Torah.
That's
what's Tarkov?
Tarkov is oh geez, hold on. Describing it's kind of
just
the whole thing.
Dinosaurs and Tarkov, and then I'm correct either way.
Oh no! I would rather not, because Tarkov's hard enough as it is. To put dinosaurs in it, I would no. Yeah, no. Tarkov is basically a military simulator, if I really had to put it, but in a post-nuclear Russia type of the ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much you're scavenging around for everything from guns, ammo, food, water. Everything pretty much in every singular raid that you go into, because how they go about it is that you're not going in there it's sort of battle royale style, where you're going in there but you have a kit with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go into the map, you try to loot stuff and everything like that, loot anything that's as a value, or any type of guns or anything like that, and then you actually try to escape. And most of the time when it comes down to it, that would be oh yeah, that seems like an easy, simple task. The game itself is designed in such a way that it's not just that simple. You have to worry about your food and water during the raid and everything like that. And it's not just you simply get that back to 100% when you leave. That's still around. It's still at that 80 or 70% when you go into another raid and another and another, and it keeps going down. So that's one part. And the next part is that simply trying to manipulate any type of firearms is really ridiculous. I'm telling you, you have to load your magazines with individual rounds every time.
Oh, I would get frustrated very quick.
And not only to mention that, but the hearing itself is also very, very varied, because you also have it where there is combat earmuffs, combat earmuffs, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And those things allow you to hear a lot of the audio throughout the map. In comparison to normal hearing, imagine that, but just times 4 to 5.
Oh wow.
Now, you would think that would be a good thing, but no, you're very vulnerable as a player yourself. It's not just a general health bar that you have. Like, if one limb goes in, because like each individual limb, like your torso, your arm, your leg, your head, they all have their own health bars.
Mm.
And if even one of those goes down to 0%, you're done.
Mm. That just sounds frustrating.
It is. It's an amazingly frustrating game itself. It's Nikita knows, and he literally like relishes in the idea that he made this FPS game that is so unbelievably difficult for people to get into that he literally makes jokes about it all the time. But yet people are still willing to go into the game and actually play it.
That's the thing with me. It's just I am one of those people that's very picky about games. Like there's certain games I'll play like just for fun, won't stream, won't make a video out of it or anything, and I absolutely love it. And then but then it's like if I'm streaming or probably about 90% of the time I'm on like one of a few games. Like I'm not like one of those people that's like, oh, new game, oh, I'm gonna buy that one. Oh, another one just came out, I'll buy that one. It's like if I buy one game, I'm gonna be stuck on that one game for about a year or a little bit more, and then after that, I just will not touch it ever again.
I would say it depends on the quality for me because, as I said before, even knowing though it's unbelievably difficult, I have actually not started playing Tarkov until recently of 4 months. I've had the game for a year.
Well, it's like I'm one of those people that'll buy games during the Steam like summer sale or the winter sale, right?
Yeah.
But then won't I just won't like touch any of the games. Be like, oh cool, I'll play this sometime, and then I just
But yeah,
like
no, nope.
oh, you're good. I was gonna say like Blickgate's like one of them. I think installed it one time and I haven't touched it in over 2 years, like 2 or 3 years. And I was gonna be so excited to play that all the time and da 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 da. Then I was like, yeah, no, it is not me.
That's fair.
So
Yeah, no, Tarkov in of itself is like, I say that I like the game, yes, but the reason why I like it is because of just how much of skill and, patience and everything in between is kind of like tested in one particular game.
mhm.
The game itself is good, don't get me wrong, but I say it's for people to stay away because you're not ready for the amount of, like, if you're coming from COD or Halo and you're deciding to get into that game specifically because you're like, oh no, it can't be that hard, it's a reality check.
Oh goodness.
You will, like, this is like going from playing Call of Duty to going to the military level of a reality check.
But that sounds frustrating. Like I don't know. I'm one of those people. It's like once I get frustrated in a game, it's like it's high chance I probably will not be playing it anymore. I'm one of those people that just wimps out.
I was that person that was pretty much like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to get better at this game. I'm at least going to be able to survive somewhat. I don't know why, but I just like, I don't know if it's like was a steel hardy determination to like, dominate the game in a way, in a sense. It's just like I wanted to play it and I wanted to be able to be better at it.
Yeah, and I never really lucked out on that. I just all my stuff was just like, oh, if I play it and I'm decent, then I keep going. If I play it and I get frustrated too fast, then probably I won't touch it. Like as I said, I'm probably one of the most pickiest gamers out there. I just don't get to play a lot of things because I'll be like, yeah, it's too frustrating. Yeah, it doesn't look like my thing. I did that a lot with what was it? Tetris. Tetris was like one of the first games I did that with. My sister owned it. I'd play a little bit of it and I'd be like, yeah, this game's confusing. I can't actually finish this game because I didn't know there was an ending to it. I'd be like, yeah,
Oh,
no, I
Craig's
can't.
out of here.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? If not, I think this might be a really good point to wrap up.
I'm gonna actually say a message throughout to the VTuber community as a whole.
Absolutely.
It's gonna. I know that saying this is gonna be generalization, so love or hate it, it's gonna be what I want to say.
Go for it.
There is a big margin for error when it comes to a community. And let's not be, two-faced when it comes to being, VTubers and everything like that. We're not the best people, but we're not the worst.
Exactly.
Just because you have a little avatar on your screen does not mean that you all of a sudden can play God.
Yes, and like I said, to add on to that, YouTubers, don't let other people put you down, because honestly, I wouldn't be streaming and doing this stuff if I didn't start being a VTuber. So if it's something you're comfortable with and you want to put time and money into, honestly do it. It is worth every cent, and I've honestly had the fun for the past few.
Yep.
But also, to add on to that final thing, if you're beginning to be popular or you are popular and you're snobby to your fans, fuck you. So, anyway, though, thank you so much, Scouty, for being on today. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you inviting me. It was very interesting to get some weight off my chest.
Absolutely, and I would love to actually have you on for another episode, because I know this one was probably a little bit nerve-wracking. It's like, what might I ask you, or might do this or this or this. And trust me, even yesterday I recorded another podcast and I was a little bit nervous myself, but this is something I really want to do and everything. So you guys will be expecting more episodes coming very soon, and I'll keep you guys posted.
And if anybody has any small little inquiries or questions for me, I don't mind answering them.
Yep, and I will try to get Scouty on as a guest very soon again. I definitely had fun in this episode, and I definitely need you back. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We have episode 3 coming very, very soon. I will keep you posted with any updates and any other question and answers coming soon. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day or night.